All right, today we're going to journey back in time, way back, long before our modern world even existed. We're going to explore the amazing societies of the Eastern Woodland tribes. Let's dive right in.
So, just take a second and try to imagine it. What was North America really like before all the cities and highways we know today? You kind of have to forget everything you see around you. Instead, picture this: a massive continent just covered in these deep, ancient forests, with clean rivers winding all through them. That's where our story begins. So, welcome to the Eastern Woodlands. This was a huge area stretching from the Atlantic Ocean all the way out to the Great Lakes. And, this wasn't some empty wilderness. Nope, it was a totally thriving ecosystem, just bursting with life. And this right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it all. The relationship these people had with the land was, well, it was everything. The world wasn't something to be conquered, it was a provider. The forests gave them all the wood they needed for their homes. The rivers were packed with fish, and the woods themselves were full of animals like deer, bear, and turkey. It was, in every sense, a land of incredible abundance. Okay, so who were the people that called this incredible landscape home? Let's meet some of these communities because they developed these really unique and sophisticated cultures that were just completely woven into the fabric of this forest world. Now, there were literally hundreds of different groups, but here are just a few of the major ones you might have heard of: the Iroquois, the Algonquin, Shawnee, Delaware, and the Powhatan. Each one had its own unique language, its own customs, but they all shared this one fundamental thing: a deep reliance on the woodlands for survival. And here's a really important point about identity. The group we often call the Iroquois, they called themselves the Haudenosaunee, and that means people of the Longhouse. Using the name they used for themselves is so important because it helps us see their world from their point of view, a world centered around their amazing homes and their unique communities. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty. How did day-to-day life actually work in these communities? Well, it all started with building a home, and they built them using only the materials the forest gave them. And what's super interesting is that there were two main types of homes. On the one hand, you've got the wigwam, a cozy, dome-shaped house built for a single family, made with a wooden frame and covered in bark. But then you have the longhouse. This was a massive, rectangular building that could house multiple families, all from the same clan, under one roof. And this, of course, was the signature home of the Haudenosaunee, the people of the longhouse. Life was really a big team effort. Everyone had a super important role. The women were the main farmers and gatherers. They controlled the food supply, which, by the way, gave them a ton of social and political power, especially in societies like the Haudenosaunee. The men, they focused on hunting and on protecting the community. And the kids? From a very young age, they were learning all these essential skills just by watching and helping their elders. But this is where things get really incredible. Their societies were about so much more than just day-to-day survival. The Eastern Woodland tribes came up with these amazingly sophisticated systems, from brilliant farming techniques to advanced forms of government, all of it built on one simple idea: cooperation. This quote right here perfectly captures one of the most clever examples of their agricultural genius. They didn't just plant crops side by side. No, they created this amazing symbiotic system, a powerful partnership between three very special plants. They called this system the Three Sisters, and it is absolutely brilliant. Okay, check this out. First, you've got the corn, which grows tall and provides a natural pole. Then you've got the beans, which climb up the corn stalk, and while they're doing that, their roots put vital nitrogen back into the soil. And finally, you have the squash, with its big leaves spreading all over the ground, which blocks out weeds and keeps the soil nice and moist. It's a completely self-sustaining and incredibly efficient little team. And that same idea, that same spirit of partnership and cooperation, that was the absolute foundation of their political life, too. It went way beyond the farm fields and shaped the very way their societies were run. The key political figure was known as the sachem. Now, don't think of a king or some all-powerful ruler. A sachem was a council leader, chosen by their people to represent them. And in many nations, like the Haudenosaunee, these sachems were actually chosen by the clan mothers, which again links right back to the incredible political power women held in these communities. The most famous example of all this is the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. This was a seriously advanced political alliance that brought together 5 and later 6 totally distinct tribes under one powerful council. This system was so advanced, so representative, that many people believe it actually influenced the thinking of America's own founding fathers when they were writing the U.S. Constitution.
So here's the crucial part. The way they made decisions was so different from what we're used to. It wasn't about a single ruler making a call, or even just a simple majority vote. The goal was always consensus. They talked and they debated until they found a solution that everybody could agree on. It was all about ensuring fairness and keeping the group united.
All of this incredible skill and cultural richness, it didn't just disappear into the history books. The Eastern Woodland tribes have left a lasting legacy that continues to influence communities and shape our understanding of the past even today. I mean, their culture was just so rich and multifaceted. They passed down their history and values through powerful storytelling. They celebrated life with ceremonies and dances. The artisans created these absolutely stunning crafts, from beautiful pottery to incredibly detailed beadwork. And at the very center of it all was this spiritual belief system built on a deep, profound respect for nature. So, to wrap it all up, the Eastern Woodland tribes weren't just simple societies living in the forest. Far from it. They were skilled farmers, organized politicians, and creators of a beautiful culture. And it all grew out of this deep, intelligent, and sustainable connection they had with their forest home. And that really leaves us with a final thought for our own modern world, doesn't it? What can we learn today from a culture that was built from the ground up, on cooperation, on consensus, and on a fundamental respect for the environment that sustains all of us? It's definitely a question worth thinking about. Thanks for watching.